The bells, that is.
There they are, says Lauren. The bells that signal it's time to start our session ring. So here we are. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And this is Beginner Bodyweight and Bell. Join us today with a kettlebell, which I have off to the side here, as we'll learn the grip holds, refine our kettlebell swing, and at the end, work on some strength and endurance with the kettlebell swing and push-up combo. Before we do that, we'll start with the breath, the body check-ins, and then the kettlebell to follow. Anything else that we're missing before we start? No?
You got it all.
Great.
Nailed it.
So even if you don't have a kettlebell, maybe a dumbbell, or just your body weight load, groove the patterns, stay strong, and let's start right away. With your feet underneath their hips, grip the toes to the ground. Pull up the arches, heavy heels, and then straight knees. From the knees, squeeze your butt cheeks, maybe a little posterior tip happen then. Wear the rib cage down, pull the crown tall, and then just shake it out. From here, with those same cues, then bend the knees, gripping the floor, bending the knees towards over the toe. From this position, transfer weight to one foot. I've chosen my left. Slide the leg out front, and then press to a high lunge or split stance. Feet are parallel, hips, shoulders, and head, neck facing forward. From here, chin tuck, and just 2 rotations at the head, neck. Pulling the crown high, rotate over the left shoulder or the right, but then through center, all the way over to the other side. One more time each side, rotate tall. One last time, returning, and center. Balance check. Then go hands across chest. The hips and head will stay forward as that upper body rotates just a little bit. And then through center, towards the other side. Coming across the body or towards that leg in the front, I do find easier. This one is quite challenging. What about you? Center, last time in that rotation, and then close. Arms can stay or just out to the side, but now it's the hips. The shoulders and the face stay forward, open those hips, and then pull or scissor to close. Push the front foot forward into the ground to open up that hip. Watch the shoulder doesn't move, Ian. And then through. Last one, keep the hips and head, neck square.
No.
Close the
shoulders
shoulder.
and head, neck square.
Shoulders and head, neck square. Then close the hip. Repeat on the other side. The knee bend in the middle first. Transfer weight to one side. Straighten and high lunge split stance. At the head, neck, chin tuck. 2 rotations each way. Over the left, tall, to the right. Nice and control. As I do these a little bit more frequently, sounds less like Rice Krispies or Snap, Crackle, Pop. Groove those movements, no pain, but open up those ranges. Hands across chest next, and with the hips forward and head, neck forward, rotate the shoulders, and then across the body. Stay tall over your base of support, avoiding a side bend and keeping the shoulders stacked over top of the hips. One more rotation, and then rotate back to center. The hips are next. The shoulders and head stays forward, and in the hips, we open and then pull or scissor. To open that hip, I'll press forward through my front leg, opening my hips to that back corner. Shoulders stay square, and then pull underneath. Last time to open, close, then push off and come under. From here, open up into your sumo stance, maybe a power pose, second position. With a hand on the belly and then a hand on the chest, take a 4-second breath in to the belly. And exhale. Repeat. The top hand stays calm or unmoving. That bottom hand fills or rises and exhales. Repeat 2 breaths up top. The bottom hand stays calm. Brace those abs. And then breathe into the chest. Exhale. And one last time. Chest breath in. And exhale. Put that together and take one belly breath in. One hold for 4 seconds. And a chest breath in. And exhale. Shake that out. Come back to your narrow stance. A little bit of a hip flexor stretch here from that high lunge position. Assemble, knees over toes, transfer weight, and high split stance. That anterior and posterior tuck of the hip. Let's get that first. Anterior tuck is when the tailbone goes back and the front of the hip spills forward. Posterior tuck when it scoops the other way or front of hip towards belly button. Try that once or twice more. Anterior tip, posterior tip. Finish in a posterior tip, push forward, come back, and alternate to the other side. Knees over toes, extend the leg, transfer between 2 feet. And again, we have a posterior tuck, tucking under this way, and then an anterior tip, tailbone away, front of hips forward. Once or twice more of each, anterior and posterior tips here. Finish with the posterior, and then push forward
Anterior.
to come back, and then shake it out. Going forward to stretch or feel the sensation through the quad hip flexor, posterior tilts. Let's go knees over.
Tucking under.
Tucking under. Knees over toes. Straighten out the leg. High stance. From here, we'll scoop under those hips, straighten the back knee. Then with the heel connected to the floor in the back, bend the back knee. With caution, tuck posterior tip of those hips, maintain that tuck position, and straighten the back leg to feel work through that hip extension and load stretch through the front. Casual relax. Same thing. Posterior tuck, front of hips towards that belly button, straighten the back leg. From there, bend the back knee, descending a little bit into the lunge, retuck in a posterior tip, and then straighten that back leg. Hold for 3, 2, push forward off the front leg to come underneath. Repeat to the other side. Knees over toes, straighten out the leg, transfer between 2 feet. Posterior tuck or tailbone under, front of hips forward, straighten the back knee. Then gently with the full foot on the ground, bend the back leg, retuck those hips, and keep the hip forward as you straighten or extend at that back leg knee. Hold and relax. One more time. Our tuck of the hips, check. Straighten the knee out the back. Then gently bend, heel stays flat on the floor. Retuck those hips under. Keep that position, straighten out that back leg. Is it shaking? Mine is a little bit today. And then we'll push off the front, come underneath, and shake out. Let's come back into that sumo stance and gently work on the shoulders, starting in the W. With a W shape, feet pressing into the floor, glutes cramped, elevate the shoulders, and then pull low. Once more, elevate and low. Protract as to round forward, shoulder blades are rounding, spine is tall, and retract. And one more. Protract forward, and then retract together. Lift the elbows, pulling down on those armpits to have the hands approach the back of the head. Once positioned here, elevate the shoulders, pull them back down. Extend the elbows towards a T shape, and whether it's the T or more like that low V like me, all good. Pull the elbows back towards the W, and then back to the head. Repeat once more. Extend on the elbows, approaching that T shape, or slightly lower based on those shoulders, and return to the W. Extend the elbows, press together, and shake that out. From here, we'll continue, but from the T shape, approach the Y. In your sumo, in that W shape, elevate the shoulders once, and then pull them low, supported from underneath that armpit as the elbows go out to the side. Hold. Hold those armpit lows again, and then extend those elbows towards your Y shape. Hold for 3, 2. Bend on the elbows towards the back of the head. Pull the armpits low, last time, butt squeeze, and by pulling down through the shoulders, we stabilize and try to improve that overhead strength and mobility. Return the hands towards the back of the head, and then lastly, to that W shape. Palms forward as you finish, and then shake. Lauren will cue us here with the get up, transitioning to the floor, working on some planks, and then our squats. Maybe grab that kettlebell if it was off to the side. We'll use it very shortly.
All right, let's get to the floor via our get up. Take an arm, crossing it across your chest, placing it across your chest. Leg you can touch, steps back. Control that lunge down, nice soft landing, keeping that vertical shin. Front foot opens. We had that rotation with our upper body. Chop our hips back behind us. Hand finds the floor. Before you sweep, restack those shoulders. So our shoulder over top of wrist. Sweep the back leg through to the elbow. And then a 5-second down. 5, 4, 3, 2, softly to your back. From here, we'll flip over into our plank position. We'll go from the elbows for right now. So from those elbows underneath shoulders, fists making them. Pack your shoulders down, tuck your hips under, press the floor away, either to your knees or your modified position, or your toes. Pull the shoulders towards the hips, squeeze your glutes, brace, keep those fists of fury for another 5, 4, 3, 2, knees come down, gentle extension to relax. Try to keep those core engaged so we're not just arching on that low back. And we're going to do that one more time. Tuck your toes. Tuck hips before you press the floor away. Then press into that plank, either from that modified position or full plank. Butts, abs, lats, pulling the floor together. Breathing and bracing for 4, 3, 2, come all the way back down with control. Flip to your backside, and we'll come up on the same side we went down with, so that arm across your chest. Press the foot into the floor, extend the hip, pull on the elbow. Find your hand to your tall sit, lifting, sweeping, hand presses away, front foot moves, both legs up to tall. Shake it out.
Other side.
Oh, no squats yet?
No, in a second.
Other side.
Whenever. We can do whenever.
Let's do some squats here.
Okay.
Feet underneath of us in parallel position. First time, knees press over toes. Chest is over top of hips. And then drive down and press the floor away. Repeat. Knees press over toes. And then drive down. One more time. Knees press over toes. We're going to go up through extended knees and keep rolling up to a 2-footed high balance here. Find your balance by pulling up your kneecaps, squeezing your glutes, bracing your core, and holding for 4, 3, 2. Now with the same amount of control, slowly bring your heels back down. From here, turn out to that first position, squeezing glutes, extending hips. Start pulling your legs together to feel adductors light up. Hold together to press knees over toes. Down and away to tall. And last time, pull together. And then we'll extend and keep extending to find that balance again. Holding, kneecaps up, glutes, core. Find stability for 3, 2, and then slow on the down. Nice. One more position. Point out to that sumo or that second squat stance. Pulling the floor together again. You're safe low. Drive down and away to tall. Repeat. Pull. Feel that tension before you even move. Knees pressed towards over toes. We're still tall here. Our shoulders are stacked over top of our hips. Last squat. And then again, as we press and grow through knee extension, up to a 2-legged balance. pressing the inside of those heels forward. The inseams press forward for 3, 2, keep the knees straight on landing, press and close. Shake it out, and we'll get up down on the other side. Cross the arm across, cross, hand, step back with the leg. I'm trying to get rid of the double cross.
It's hard. The more we watch and train, the more obvious those Ian and Laurenisms show through.
Front foot opens, rotate, push your hip back, hand finds the floor, and stack shoulders first. Find that stability, brace, sweep to the elbow, and then again, 5-second descent on this side. 4, 3, 2, and you're back. One more time in our plank. Either continue on in your low plank position or come up to that high plank that we'll practice before we do our push-ups later today. So from either position, toes or knees, hips are tucked under in that tilt we did earlier, posterior, anterior. I always get the confused.
Post.
Then pull the floor together underneath you. Squeeze your glutes, brace your core. Keep that tension heavy and high for 4, 3, 2, knees land. Safely come out of that. Flip to your backside. Up on that same side we came down on. If you remember. Arm across your chest. Press into that hip extension. Pull on the elbow. Find your hand, keeping that shoulder proud and packed. Lifting, sweeping. Press the floor away, extending your hip. Front foot. Use both legs to help you up. One more set of squats. Yeah, good. In parallel again. Knees press over toes. Extend to tall. Knees press over toes. Extend to tall. One more time. Knees pressed over toes. Stay down here. Can you roll up and find your toe balance in that bent knee position for 3, 2, trying to remain the same height as your heels come down, and then extend to tall. Repeat in first. Gently turn out. Feel that pull together as your knees press over your toes. Drive down and away to extend. Pull together, knees over toes. Drive down and away to extend. At the top, everything squeezes. Pull together. Here, maybe peel those heels up off the floor. Keep trying to press your hips through for 3, 2, heels come down. Drive down and away to tall. Last one, point, toe ball, heel land. Pulling that floor, tension up as you go down. Driving down and away. Pull together, still stay stacked. Drive down and away. And one more time with our balance at the bottom of this one. Heels leave the floor, pressing those heels forward for 3, 2, stay the same height, land. Drive down to stand up. Whew. Shake it out. Take a second.
This is where the kettlebell will come into play. We'll be starting today using our Get Up protocol to descend to the floor. And then with your load by your side, or pretend, we'll take it to the firing range and hold it for time. The position on the floor will look a little bit like this. Your feet can be personalized to your stance, but the arm will be pointed towards the ceiling, the other arm extended at the belt line height. Let's replicate Lauren's Get Up and place our hand across our chest. The other leg we can touch. It drops back into that lunge. And as I'm doing this, I've realized this is the side I've done both times through Lauren. We got to straighten that out. Then open up. Hinge with that rotation. Hand to the floor. Tall sit. And then if you're not in a good position with your kettlebell, take this moment to just skip the next step and get that kettlebell nice and close. Starting on my right side in the kettlebell cuddle. On our side here, pinky hand grips near that corner of the bell. Pack a shoulder, take a breath, roll to your back. With 2 hands, press the load to overhead. We're holding for about 20 or 30 seconds here. Simulate the first move of the Get Up with the other arm out to the side. If you need to maintain that contact with the bell, please do. 2 hands is also appropriate. Build grip strength, core strength, and awareness through stability of the shoulder as we hold for 5 more seconds. Brace your core. Make it safe and hard at the same time. 2 hands on that kettlebell. Pull the elbow towards the hip, and then the cuddle position. Switch to the other side. Feet over the bell or where that halo is appropriate. Avoid pulling the bell across your body. Start in the cuddle. The pinky side grip again is near the corner handle. Grip tight, callus line parallel with the handle. Pack the shoulder. Take a breath in as we roll to our back. And then with our core tension, press. Shoulder blades sitting flush with the floor, pulled towards those hips. The other arm, keep it on the bell if you need, or at belt line height extended. Pack the shoulder, brace the core, drive the bent and straight leg into the ground for stability. Holding for 5 more seconds, breathing and bracing. Take 2 hands on that kettlebell, pull the elbow towards the hip, and return to the cuddle. From here, we'll use Lauren's Get Up protocol to come up. With the opposite, hand across chest, extend that hip by pushing to the elbow. From there, tall sit, bridge to sweep, slide the hand up the leg, square up the lunge, and come up. Same kettlebell, or different or imaginary. In practices since Christmas or of this new year, we've been practicing that goblet hold in addition to other variations. Today, could we do 3 repetitions with that load in our goblet?
3 repetitions of squats?
Of a squat. Lauren will demonstrate 1. Standing just behind that kettlebell, we'll pull ourselves into a low squat. Great. Grabbing it by the handles, preloading those shoulders. This is a hard move, biceping curling to the goblet. A breath in, stand up tall, pull yourself low, extend those elbows, or repeat repetitions, extend the elbows, return the load to the floor, and stand up. Lauren's gonna have to do an extra couple today, but follow along with us now as we aim to do 3. Standing just behind the bell, feet assembled in the squat stance. Pull into the ground, there's tension throughout as we sit low. Tip that kettlebell, adjust if you need to, and I'll anchor my my elbows into my adductor knees here. With core braced, take a second and biceps curl up. From here to tall stand. Pull ourselves down, core brace, extend, pull ourselves down, core brace, and one more time, to tall, pull ourselves down, last one, extend the elbows supported on those knees, tip the bell, and come up in your squat. 3 got the heart rate going. The first set, a little bit alarming sometimes, whether that's with your firing range or with your squat. Let's do both of those drills one more time, under load in our firing range and the squat, and whether you use the same bell, it might feel lighter, or that original bell say, not today. Pick a bell that's right for you, and let's switch up the get up that we finally do it on that other side. Okay, so the leg we can touch drops back, extending the hips through. Open, hinge, rotate, sweep a leg, partner first, then us. If you can finish that get up, press off from the elbow, and then cuddle the bell. 20 or so seconds here, grip it nice and tight. Pack shoulders, 2 hands as you need, 1 hand if you're ready for that next. With a breath, we'll prepare and roll to our back, press to the ceiling, packing shoulders, tucking chins, and holding for time. Building that awareness that that shoulder blade is anchored nice and stable, the forearm is vertical, the wrists stacked, packed shoulders, straight to the top, heavy tension through the legs. 3 more seconds. 1 and 2 hands on. Pull the kettlebell low and come down. Switch sides. How's that bell feeling today?
Great.
We said last night in our practice that in this practice, we'd actually be using a heavier weight. These are some of the basics that we use to make an advanced kettlebell practice easier. Cuddle that bell.
Cuddle.
Cuddle, cuddle. So we're on the other side, pinky side gripping, pack the shoulder, roll to the firing range. With 2 hands, we'll press. Watch for your neighbor. And again, packed shoulders, the forearm and shoulder perpendicular to the floor with a good tight grip. The other hand can help support or place it out to the side as in the get up. Extend the hips, driving feet into the ground. And for 5 more seconds, build tension and time underneath of that bell. 2 hands on, pull the elbow towards the hip, cuddle the kettlebell. Return to standing through our get up. Hand across chest. Other hand, belt line high at the side. Push through the floor, extending the hip, pulling to the elbow. Transition to the tall sit. Bridge and sweep. Pull the hand up the leg. Square up the lunge. High yaw tension to come up. Repeat 1 last time in that goblet squat. Was 3 just right?
Yep.
Great. Then let's stick with the number 3.
Please.
Stick with the number 3 today then. Again, there might be some modifications once you're down there, just finessing that position of the bell. Get in that squat stance, bell slightly in front of you, pull ourselves down, always controlling gravity. Then that's my little wiggle I need to do to settle into the place. My shoulders are packed, core is braced, biceps curl, and stand. Breath in, and core tension up. Breath in, core tension up. Breath in, and up. Return with control. Extend the elbows and up as much as you can in that same squat pattern. And shake it out. There we go. If that's our squat, let's take a quick moment to either have a quick a sip, and then explain the difference between that squat and hinge.
Don't mind if I do.
In a squat, our shins might become off vertical, and our bum transitions towards below the knees. In our hinge, the butt or the hips stay above. The shoulders are staying in this vertical line matched with the shins. Let's take 1 quick second to do a body weight hinge, and then at your discretion, use a kettlebell load to load the movement. Stand up. Feet just outside of hips. Press those feet into the ground. Perhaps chop yourself on those hip flexors to hinge back. Take a second, forearms attached to the fronts of the shins, pack shoulders down. Are the shoulders over top of those knees, or are you drifting out front? Take a second longer and find that position where the shoulders at the front, vertical with the arms in front, touch the shins. Then press the feet into the floor and establish your tall standing plank. Like on the floor, high tension here, high tension there, high tension everywhere. Couldn't push her over. Does that sound all right? Does that sound like review? If this is new for us, use a body weight version to touch and come up barehanded. If we're ready to load, follow along. We'll do 3 repetitions on the right, followed by 3 repetitions on the left. Hinge stance. Chop those hip flexors. Looking a couple feet in front of you, grip with one arm. Pull on the armpit to preload, squaring shoulders. Once you feel that weight of the bell, take a breath and pull it to tall. Retract the shoulder an extra second. Return the load to the floor. Stay there. Did the load return to the same place? If not, make those small adjustments to make sure it's in line with the shins, and then pack the shoulder, preload by leaning back just a little bit, And then extend, repack that shoulder. Return to the floor. Last one, we're gonna regrip, packing the shoulder, preloading, lifting the sternum to tall, return to the floor, come up barehanded. Shake your stance, shake your hands, repeat on the other side. That kettlebell handle should be bisecting the shins at the bottom, really tight to the body. Hinge, hips back, grab with one hand. Are the shoulders square? Lift the sternum forward, preload, drive to the top, pull the slack by retracting that shoulder. Return to the floor. Pack the shoulder, brace, preload, up, and return. And last one, regrip, pack the shoulder with the preload, core brace to tall, return, and body weight up. Working on the loaded deadlift will help us get to that swing, as will body weight versions like Lauren's chop and pop.
Chop and pop time. You can probably stay standing where you are because you're likely in that swing stance. From here, taking your hands out front, we'll chop our hips back into our hinge position. Nice long spine, core brace, and then from there we'll pop our hips through to plank position. Abs braced, butt squeezed. Let's repeat at this pace. Chop, pop, chop, pop. 5 more. Chop, punch in the stomach. Chop, punch in the butt. Chop, punch in both. 3 or 2. Last one. Hold that top position like a plank, and then relax. Whew.
That strength to lift the kettlebell and the endurance with that pop and chop. Giving it one more second off, let's repeat one last time, holding our kettlebell down low. Standing over top of the load, the feet out, grab on with one side, packing shoulders. Preload, lift 99% of that kettlebell, and then away from the floor, emphasizing the shoulder pack. Return to the kettlebell to the floor, pack shoulders, reinforce the preload technique, and core brace to tall. Return. Last one, pack shoulder, preload, and up. Return to the floor, barehanded up to return. Wiggle feet, change your stance if you need to, but build that awareness that this is your go-to hinging or swinging stance. Chopping hips, grabbing with the alternate arm, shoulders square. Preload, pack the shoulder, drive with those hips, return the kettlebell load to the floor. Preload, brace, breathe in, and then up, return. Last time, finesse those little things like square shoulders and gripping toes, and then preload to up, return, and body weight. Nice. Chop and pop version number 2. Set number 2.
We'll do 10 of our chop and pops at that quicker or the pace of what a swing would be. So standing in your feet with shoulder width apart, hinge stance, take your hands. Chop your hips, chop, pop, 10, chop, pop, chop. 8 every time, remembering to extend those hips, squeeze the glutes, brace the core. 4 more for 4, punch. 3, and breathe as those hips snap through. 2, last one, end tall in your plank, and then relax.
That all-out tension can make those bodyweight versions challenging and make your heart say thank you. Put your hand right there. Is it saying thank you? Or thank you, thank you, thank you? Mine's saying a little bit more of the latter. I'd like to explore one more hold for today. That is our rack. The goblet hold is with 2 hands. The rack is with 1. Using Lauren as my demonstration again, we'll stand over top of our bell with your feet parallel to the handle. Using your hinge this time, grab with 1 hand, and then the other hand over top, like in the original 2-handed firing range press. Then pulling from the ground, up the zipper, ending up in rack, and holding for time. Adjust your stance, pressing into the floor, core brace, butt squeeze, vertical forearm as we cue our rack hold.
2 hands.
2 hands.
To put the bell
You're just
down.
going to stay there. You're
Up
just gonna stay
without.
there. Okay?
On the way down, also keep that tight to your body, just as tight as you did on the way up.
You got it. So using that nice hinge protocol, let's get started on the one side. Hinging first. Grab with the one, my right in this case, the left hand over top. Shoulders are packed. I'm preloaded just like in the deadlift. Then take a breath in and pull and catch that load in the rack. Hold for time, adjust your stance, press into the floor, butt squeezing, core bracing, and holding for 5.
Weight even between
4,
both feet.
3, 2 hands. Adjust stance as needed. Return to the floor and wiggle. Other side, same protocol. Hinge stance, chop, grip with the left, pack those shoulders in square, assisting with the other arm. Take a sniff to preload.
Oops, sorry.
Zip up the body to that rack's position. Hold for time, adjust your stance. Tension like Lauren's plank. Pull up the kneecaps, squeeze the buttocks, brace the core, vertical forearm for 5, 4, 2 hands on, open, return to the floor and up. Another bodyweight swing variation to improve your awareness and the phases of this swing include our shadow. For that, Lauren will start with her hands out and cue us a couple swing phases in this shadow swing.
With your feet in your hinge stance, arms extend out in front of you. Right now, protract or round your blades forward. Now pull them back together. Keep them there this whole time, as well as juicing that orange in your armpit. At the top of our swing, we're in our plank-like position. Your hands or your arms will start to fall. Your hips will not move until they absolutely need to, like right now. Hip hinge back, hands tight to the zipper of your pants, reaching out behind you. From here, hips initiate this extension through. At the top, hips snap, bell floats to the top. Pause, plank tension, bell starts to fall. Don't move, don't move, don't move, move. Hip hinge, reaching behind you, loading up hips, driving them through to extend. Bell floats, pauses, starts to fall. You stay tall, hip hinge. Load up hammies and glutes, 2 more. Hips drive through, snap. Bell floats, pauses, bell starts to fall. You stay tall, hinge. Last one, load it up, slingshot through. End up in your tall, retracted shoulder, plank-like position, butt squeezed, abs brace, and then relax.
Nice. Finishing today, swings and push-ups. If you feel you're ready to swing, join along and always check those movement basics video series in the memberships portal. And ready to go here. Practice a chop and pop or that shadow swing as Lauren goes, followed by me go. This I go, you go pattern allows for rest in between, check in with moderate numbers of reps. Lauren's gonna swing, I'm gonna swing, sets of 5. Then Lauren's gonna push up, and I'm gonna push up. Repeat a swing and a push-ups back and forth for a couple rounds for our strength and endurance component to finish today's session.
3 rounds.
Team Lauren, let's do it. Starting with 5 swings. Grabbing that kettlebell, pulling it to the hike pass, and for 5, 4. If the swing is something brand new for you, you don't have to do it today. We'll refine it with that deadlift and take turns watching Lauren and I go.
Team Ian's turn, either your deadlift or your swings for up to 5. Practicing that pattern of the shadow swing and the pop and chop timing. Bell goes down. Oh, now it's my turn to do some push-ups.
So after 5 swings, 1 push-up, 2 push-up. What's your number today, Lauren?
Well, my butt's gonna squeeze the whole time.
Got that full body tension.
3.
Making the push-up harder than it has to be. I'll also do 3. Hinging, walking
you do a push-up
out.
or 2. Walk out to that plank position. I'll test Ian. No moving. Nice and tight there. As he makes his way back up. Team Lauren, back to 5
Back
swings.
to those swings.
Or your deadlift. or your pop and chops, or your shadow swings.
For the deadlift, stand directly over top, shoulders bisecting the handle. For the swing, we'll set up just a little bit behind, initiating that nice pull.
Team Ian, focusing on something on these 5, whether it's that strong exhale as your hips snap through. The plank at the top. We know there's a lot to think about. Pick one, do it really well.
As Lauren said, pick that one thing. Continue to think about those shoulder blades. In this movement, like the push-up, the shoulder blades are stabilizing. Same thing in this swing, where the shoulder blades on the core.
Team Ian, pick your number of push-ups. Remember, even that modified push-up from the knees, also great. Just keep that tension up. Look, couldn't move up. Brick wall.
Whew.
One more round, we said.
We're gonna start strong and finish stronger. Keep your reps the same. 5 strong reps goes a long way. Maintain tension and integrity in your swing, or that in your deadlift. Last set.
As you're pushing that breath a little bit and that heart rate's coming up, try to maintain that nose breathing in and out into the belly. Slow it down with control. Last set of push-ups.
Last set of push-ups. Lauren's been calling these press-ups. Push-ups or press-ups. Doesn't matter what we call them. We'll make us simple. The simple movements will keep us strong.
Do your press-ups, Ian. Last set. Nice. Tensions up. Head's in line with your body. As you come up,
there we go.
Take your nose breaths.
Good call. I like that.
Slow down your breathing. Maybe I should do our drill from last night. Take a nice 4-second inhale into belly and 4-second exhale. Repeat again. Into the belly for 4. Out for 4. One more time. Into the belly for 4. Out for 4. Little bonus addition. Into the belly for 4. Hold your breath for 4. Into the chest for 4. Hold your breath for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold empty for 4. And relax. And if I was being honest, I couldn't do it. I got a little gaggy.
That little reflex there.
Just that little bit of increased heart rate makes that exhale so much harder. Practice.
Well, I'm down here. Lauren's up there. Wherever you are on the floor or standing, or here in Canada or elsewhere in the world, thank you so much for spending your morning or afternoons with us in the archive or always live. We train live to stay strong. We try to keep it simple, and we look forward to training with you soon. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And we'll see you soon.
Take
Goodbye.
care.
Have a good day.